In this video, I'm going to show you how to customize your own jersey using custom hotfix rhinestone transfers, heat transfer vinyl, and a Cricut Explorer Air 2. We're going to be going through Corel Draw and the Design Wizard to create the transfers, as well as Cricut Design Space. If you don't want to buy Corel Draw and the Design Wizard to create your own transfers, I do make them for you as a service. Once I turn your design or logo into a template, all you'll need is your own vinyl cutter to cut your own stencil. Let's start with Corel Draw and the Design Wizard. Let's get into it. Alright, so we are going to start by making our rhinestone template, and we're going to be using Corel Draw and the plugin to actually turn your design into the file with the dots. We're going to be using Design Wizard from the Rhinestone world. I might have mentioned it already, but these two programs do cost around $800, somewhere around that price point. If you don't want to pay for the programs and you just want your files, if you just want, the SVG file to send to your vinyl cutter so you can just load up your own rhinestone flock, provide your own stones and transfer tape, I can definitely do that for you. I do provide that as a service. So just reach out with your logo. I will do this part for you. You can just pay me to do it. It also supports me and my hustle as well, but it just will help you avoid having to pay for both programs. And then once you have the SVG file, as long as you have it saved, that file is good for life and it works for any vinyl cutter because it's already perfectly sized. But if you want to go ahead and pay the $800 to get the software, these are the steps you're going to take once you're in the interface. I do also have another video on my channel where I break down the whole process of how to make my own rhinestone transfers, so I'll link that in the description. But for the sake of this jersey, let's go ahead and make this one. So I'm going to go ahead and start by typing recipe. Let's go ahead and make that bigger. And I'm going to probably go with Old English. There we go. And then let's close this up for a second. Now, I do want to curve this, so I'm going to go right here to envelope. You see these right here. We're going to click the second one, add new, and then just go ahead and shape this to whatever it is that you would like. There's obviously no wrong way. You guys can do whatever you like. Let's say we're happy with this. There we go. Now let's make this 12 inches wide. All right. So now we have our text file. Now it's time to turn this into the SVG file, and that's where the Design Wizard comes in. So we're going to make sure our design is clicked. We're going to go to place and fill. You can do either outside or inside. I'm going to do inside. Make sure you click add stones. And then you have a couple of things right here, which I will go over in future videos. But for just this video, I'm going to show you what I'm doing just to get this turned into the template. So for fill line spacing, I usually like to keep this on auto. Usually keep this on auto. And then we might mess with the spacing a little bit, but we'll see what happens when we leave it at the default, which is the 0.02. And then up here we have the stone set to SS10. That's the most used rhinestone size. There's also like the SS6 and all the other sizes, but we're gonna do SS10 for this one. Now we're going to go ahead and do hatch fill. There's path, island, offset, and hatch. Like I said, we'll go over these in other videos, but for this one, we're going to be using a hatch fill. So that's going to basically provide us with the stones, right? Now, let's go ahead and undo. We can do the spacing. We could change this and it'll just add more space in between the stones. So overall there'll be less stones in your design. So let's try let's try 5. Let's see what happens there. Okay, see how it's less stones. Now there's a lot less for you to have to edit. Now, if you notice, there's going to be some that are like overlapping or just, not in the right place, because you don't want this to overlap, or else the vinyl cutter is going to cut it like this, and you're going to have a really awkward space right here. So we're going to go ahead and highlight the whole thing. We're going to do ungroup and then clear the paths. That way we can now have access to each individual one. Now from here, this is where you're just going to go in and move the stones or delete them, or you can also duplicate them. You're just going to go through each letter and make sure that each one is exactly how it should be. And just go all the way through. Really simple. There's a couple of these tools you can use to help speed up the process. For example, let's say we deleted this, but we want to make sure that this line right here has even spacing. We can highlight all of them and then do this right here, and it'll just create equal spacing in between. So that's just an example of the type of tools that we have available to us with the Design Wizard. But let's say we are happy with how this looks, right? We're like, okay, we did all the holes the way we want them to. So now let's go ahead and highlight this. We're going to go to templates, current page, and then hit TRW magic separator. And then from here, we can just go ahead and delete this. We can delete this one. And then now we have the file with all the black dots. We're going to go ahead and highlight this, hit weld. Might take a second. There we go. Now we can put this yellow piece right on top, right on the bottom of it. All right, now from here, we're gonna hold down Shift and highlight this. And then we're gonna go ahead right here, hit back minus front. That's gonna knock the holes right into the template. Now, just go ahead and click the template. We're gonna go right here to export and then export SVG. And then from here, just save it to whatever folder you'll remember you have it in. But now we have the file for this, which is the Rhinestone template that we're going to send to our Cricut Explorer Air 2. But now let's go ahead and go to Cricut Design Space so we can create the heat transfer vinyl files, which will be the numbers and the jock tag. I will meet you in Cricut Design Space. All right, we have Cricut Design Space open. We're going to go ahead and create the numbers for the back of the jersey and then the jock tag, which is going to be right in the front and the bottom. Let's go ahead and start with the jock tag. So we're going to go ahead and add a square. And then for the size, we're going to do 5 inches wide, and then the height by 2 inches was actually perfect. So 5 by 2. And then we're going to go ahead and grab shapes again. And then we're going to go ahead and cut about right here or so. Make a square, because this is going to be where the 99 goes right here, and then recipe worldwide. So let's just do that. We're going to overlay that square on top of this one, and then we're going to go ahead and do slice. Or actually, you know what? Let's make it a little bit bigger. It's right there. Let's see what that'll look like. Okay, that looks better. So we can go ahead and delete that. Delete that. And now we're going to go ahead and add our text. So I went ahead and used Old English. You can use whatever you guys want. So let's go ahead and make this white so we can see it. Let's do 99. Perfect. Recipe. And you guys can copy this as much as you want. You guys can do it exactly like this. It does not even matter. My tutorials are for you guys to use. So there we go. Boom, there we go. All right. And each of these layers can be their own color. I know it's just gray and white, but on the jersey it's going to be black and white overlaid. But this color combination can be any color combination that you want. And then when you send it to your vinyl cutter, you can group these however you want. So like, for example, all the white layers, you might want to, unite that. That way it just stays on one mat. But you can organize that however you want. Now we're going to go ahead and duplicate this one because we're going to do the number on the back. This can be whatever size you want it to be. I'm going to just do a random size for now, just so you can see how I'm going to offset this. But we're going to go right here, hit offset, and make this whatever number you want. So that's how we're going to get that offset color. This is going to be one layer, and then this is going to be another layer. If you don't want this giant piece, which I use high quality heat transfer vinyl for my project, so for me it doesn't matter when I lay my vinyl on top of other vinyl, it feels really nice. But if you're using kind of cheaper vinyl, which I don't recommend anyways, and you don't want that thick feeling, we could always duplicate this one, highlight that, and then subtract. So now that white that you see right here, that's the t-shirt. So now we could put this one right on top. Here, I'll make this a different color so you can kind of see what I mean. There we go. But that is how we are going to create the numbers for the back, and then this is how we created the jock strap. And then for that rhinestone SVG template that we made, just go right here to upload, and then just go find wherever the file was, and then just go ahead and import it. Do not change the size, and then just go ahead and send it to your Cricut Explorer Air 2. Like I said, if you need a deeper tutorial on Corel Draw and Cricut Design Space with how I sent the files and all that good stuff, I will put that video in the description so you don't have to wait to try to find out that information. Just go ahead and click that one and just let me know if you have any other questions. But we've created the files for the jerseys. Now let's go ahead and I will meet you at the vinyl cutter, and we will go ahead and make the t-shirt. Make sure you leave me any comments down below if you have any, and I'll do my best to get back to you. So we sent the template to the Cricut. Now we're going to load our rhinestone flock into the mat and then load the vinyl cutter. I set the needle pressure to poster board plus. Once the vinyl cutter is done, we can peel the flock, and now just lay down your template and add the stones. They should fall right in as you brush them. Now just add your hotfix transfer tape and we're good to go. Alright, now let's load up our Cricut Explorer Air 2 with the heat transfer vinyl and set the needle pressure to iron on plus. So to apply the hotfix rhinestone transfer, we're going to set the heat press to 330 degrees for 10 to 12 seconds. Now we're going to apply our heat transfer vinyl. Make sure for projects like this you're using high quality heat transfer vinyl. If you want to know where I get mine, check the link down below. I do use the highest quality heat transfer vinyl in the game. The recipe heat transfer vinyl only requires 300 degrees, so you can bring down the temperature a little bit. We're going to press each section for 10 to 12 seconds. If you're using high quality heat transfer vinyl, you can definitely layer projects like this and not have it feel cheap. If you're using cheap heat transfer vinyl, you're probably going to get cheap results. The heat press that I'm using in this video is the Fancier Studio 16x24 heat press with the pull out drawer. This one is in my Amazon storefront, so you don't have to worry about trying to look for it. And there we go. We just made our own custom jersey using hotfix rhinestone transfers and heat transfer vinyl. Everything that is used in this video is going to be linked down below in the description. Buying the heat transfer vinyl from the link down below directly supports me and my content since I don't sell any courses or ebooks. All of my videos are completely free for you guys to use, that way you guys have everything you need to be successful with this equipment. If you have any questions about any of the steps in this video, let me know in the comment section and I'll do my best to respond. I appreciate you and I'll see you next video.